This is Screamer by Milestone SRL. At a glance it looks like a standard arcade racing game. Fast cars, tight tracks, competitive racing. But once you actually start playing it becomes very clear. This is doing something a bit different. The core gameplay is straightforward. You race against opponents across different tracks, trying to maintain speed while staying in control. There's no heavy simulation layer, no overly complex systems. Its focus is on driving. But then there is presentation. The game leans into a stylized, anime-inspired approach. You got distinct drivers, over-the-top personalities, dramatic framing and energy. This game is not trying to be down to earth. It's the kind of tone where everything feels a bit more intense than necessary, but the game commits to it, so it works. And that's important because the gameplay matches the energy. Handling isn't forgiving. You can't just hold accelerator and hope for the best. You need to brake properly, manage your line, and stay aware of positioning. If you mess up even slightly, it costs you. Not instantly every time, but enough to break your rhythm. Tracks are built to keep pressure on you. Tight corners, sudden turns, very little room for error. You're constantly adjusting. And because of the speed, these decisions happen fast. You don't get time to think. You react. Opponents make it even more intense. They will block your line, force you wide, and do everything to disrupt your flow. It's less about big crashes, and more about small mistakes stacking up until your race falls apart. There's also variation in how cars handle. Some are more stable, others more responsive, but none of them remove the challenge. You still have to adapt. And that's where the game really works. You improve over time, learning track layout, refining cornering, keeping speed consistent. Once it clicks, the whole thing flows. You're not fighting the game anymore, you're working with it. What makes this stand out is how the style and gameplay connect, because we've seen this idea before. Need for Speed Unbound tried to mix realistic racing with stylized, almost anime-like visuals, but there it felt disconnected. Characters were extremely boring, like the effects were layered on top of the game, not really part of it. Here is different. The style matches the gameplay, the speed, the aggression, the constant pressure, everything lines up. It's the difference between adding style and actually building the game around it. And because of that, it feels cohesive. You're not just seeing the intensity, you're playing it. That's where the game is at its best. You're pushing speed, holding control, trying not to make mistakes. Because one mistake can still cost everything. And those moments where you almost lose it but you don't, that's where it feels the most satisfying. So overall, Screamer is focused. It doesn't try to do everything. It sticks to fast, demanding racing, tight track design, and a strong stylized presentation. And honestly, for arcade racer, this is one of the strongest ones in the last few years. It knows what it wants to be, and it fully commits to it. If you want a racing game that actually rewards focus, but still brings style, this one stands out. But don't try to play with the keyboard and mouse, because this game is built for a controller and controller alone. Until someone remasters Split Second, or makes something very similar to Split Second, this just might scratch that KO opponent itch, but without a glorious map destruction. On that note, Rams out. See you in next one.